¿Alguien quiere ir a caminar conmigo? Lala.
Yo, pero me estoy bañando, me terminé de bañar recién. Me visto y salgo. Veo el niño.
Estoy jugando, Gladys. Good morning. I going for a little walk now, and it's been raining for like the past few days, and it's been cold, which I like. But I got the grandparents with me. They look like little 5th graders walking to class. But anyway, I got a few things on the agenda today. Going back to the restaurant being one, and I have to do my taxes today. That's the one thing that I've been avoiding a little bit. I know I'm gonna have to pay probably the most amount of money compared to what I've had to pay the past few years. Just because last year I made a bit more. Doesn't mean it's a lot, but just means it's a bit more. So, yep. And then, yeah, those are like the important things. All right, dropped off my grandparents, just a little bit of me and you time. I wanted to talk about being sober. I wasn't always sober. I've been sober for like 2.5 months. Not necessarily saying that I had the biggest drinking problem or the biggest smoking problem, but I was a frequent user. There's people that get high and drink every single day, like 24/7. I know quite a few people that still do that. But the drinking was always less often for me, but it did get to a point with smoking weed that I was like smoking at least once a day. But that wasn't until I was like maybe like 21, 22 or something, right in the middle. And I got used to drinking when I was like 14 because I lived in Germany. I mean, you don't necessarily have to live in Germany for you to start drinking young, but it was part of the culture. Plus, you combine a Mexican and Chilean family. Oh yeah, you'll have your fair share. But I think when I got back to Texas is when I first tried weed for the first time. I was maybe about 17 years old, and it was just kind of once or twice a month, and then it started becoming maybe a few times a month, and then it kind of chilled out and it stopped when I moved to LA. And then I definitely got a little bit of an LA introduction. Let me just say that. I was introduced to the titty bump. Don't regret that one though. And a few other things along the way. Ketamine, weed. But those were I only tried those once. The weed, not that one, but the K and the C only once. So it was definitely an interesting and wild night. That was by far the craziest experience. But it definitely showed me that, whoa, this is pretty hefty. I don't know if I want to keep doing that. So I was like, all right, let me just chill with weed, an occasional mushroom here and there. And when I was about 22, 21, I started smoking a little bit more frequently, kind of on a nightly basis, just to chill out. I would convince myself it helped me chill out, actually. Did it actually chill me out? Probably not, but I convinced myself that it was a very chill experience. My anxiety went down. My thoughts just kind of simmered. Although I was thinking about a lot, but less important shit, all the distracting stuff. So, and it wasn't up until January of this year that I really just cold turkey cut everything. I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke anymore. And the reason why I did that is one, because my parents got mad at me. I don't blame them. And that was like a good little, okay, that was a good time to quit. So that kind of hit me. And I also realized how much I had just been hiding my feelings, avoiding my feelings with alcohol, with weed. It's one of those things that you can get used to very quickly. And just like you get on your phone when you're feeling bored, it's the same thing. Your phone is just as much of a drug as any other drug is. Your TV is just as much of a drug as any other drug is. Now, the gravity of how much it affects your brain might be a little different. But I realized that every single time I was bored, or I had a bunch of thoughts going on in my brain, or I didn't know what to do, I was a little bit fidgety. I've always been a fidgety guy. Like I've never been the guy to sit still and do nothing, or at least be able to do that very well. I've always struggled with that. That's my ADHD. So essentially, I started getting used to practicing sitting and feeling. And every single time you go in to pick up a joint, right? Or to sip some liquor, you're essentially running from the feeling of discomfort. Nobody wants to just sit there and not know what to do. Your brain likes being stimulated. That's why most people do anything in life, because it creates like a stimulation for you. But you get too used to that, and our brains aren't developed enough to the point where they can really build up enough willpower to know what's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. Your brain just likes to feel good and feel happy, and so you find the easiest way to do that. But of course, like I've mentioned before, short-term solutions create long-term stress. So just wanted to direct this to you. If you find yourself in a predicament where you like to smoke or you like to drink, maybe before you do it next time, ask yourself why. Before you pick it up. I'm not telling you to stop immediately. I just want you to question it a little bit more often. And I want you to ask, why exactly am I picking up this joint right now? And then just do a little bit of digging. What do I feel? What's going on in my body? What could I potentially be running from? It's easy to convince yourself that it's helping you, but if you don't question it, I'm talking about everything. If you don't question anything at all, then you're always going to be someone that conforms to society, and you're basically a slave to it at that point. So just question it. Why? Why am I picking this up? And then maybe you'll discover that you're feeling some type of way, a way that you don't really like, or maybe a way that you just don't know how to deal with. So let me give you an example. When I first started doing pickup, like as in like talking to women, building up my confidence and stuff, I used magic a lot, and I used it so much that it became a crutch for me. And I was like, whoa, I don't even know how to talk to a girl without showing her a magic trick first. What if, then she probably won't think I'm cool if I don't show her a magic trick. That's gonna help me stand out from the crowd. And that was just such a crutch for me that I spent a lot of time just leaving magic. This is why I had kind of like an off and on relationship with magic. I kind of left it for a while and just focused on truly establishing confidence. And then I just started thinking of everything that entailed. It entailed me having full control of my emotions, what I do with my emotions. Not necessarily that I know you can't necessarily control how you feel at times, but you can listen to them, you can respond to them a little bit differently. So that's where the confidence comes in, your response to life, not what happens in life. And I focused on that for a while, and I realized that alcohol and weed only made it more and more difficult for me to really establish a strong sense of confidence in myself. Because if you're relying on something, it doesn't make you confident. You can't be fully confident knowing that later at night you're going to have to do something to calm yourself. The confidence is knowing you can calm yourself without anything. You got to be honest with yourself. Be really, really honest. But I understand it's hard to be honest with yourself when you're really lost in life, when you don't see much purpose in life. But you'll be surprised how much purpose you attain from just brutal honesty. That's it, just brutal honesty of your life. Anyway, this was kind of a long talk. I didn't really plan on making it this long, but you get the idea, okay? I believe in you, man, lady, man, wherever you are in life. Confidence is a very peaceful place. And why make the journey longer than it needs to be, huh? Anyway, If you guys have questions about that, or you want me to make another video on this, just let me know. Maybe I didn't touch on everything. Maybe there's more specific things you'd like me to mention. But I feel like I covered a lot for first time talking about drugs and alcohol, in front of my house. My hair is so crazy. I got chilaquiles. Hell yeah. This is the sole reason why I came back to Texas. Or else I'd still be in Chile. I mean, my family too, I guess. Well, I am dripping up here because I just put a little water in my hair. I'm gonna go do some magic, so I'm getting ready right now. I'm gonna show you guys kind of like what I'm putting together as my fit. But yeah, yesterday was kind of like a trial period for me as far as like the magic tricks that I was doing. I haven't really done restaurant tricks in a minute, so sometimes I just don't remember the full routine. And so yesterday I kind of just went in, what's the phrase? Just kind of went in guns blazing, I guess. Just whatever. I just put the cards in front of people. I'm like, pick one. And then I was like, all right, I guess I'll do this one. But it wasn't like the right way to do it. So anyway, I'm used to just winging shit in my life. I don't know if you guys get that vibe from me, but yeah, just winged it yesterday. So I'm going to put some stuff together. I'm going to do some different tricks today. And yeah, I'm going to put together my fit. So I'll show you guys what we do with that. I'm definitely doing a little bit of cowboy hat action. Little cowboy hat, right? And I guess I need some pants. I need some pants and a shirt. Let's see what we got for that. All right, just made it to the restaurant. Got a few things that I'm gonna try out. A little bit of a new routine going on, so hopefully it works out well. If not, I'm pretty good at playing off when something goes wrong. Yesterday I had a trick that went terribly wrong on my side of the equation, which that's the only way it could go wrong. And I recovered it. I don't know how, but thankfully she was blonde, so it was a good recovery. Anyway, wish me luck. All right, so today we made a total of $97. Hey, I got pretty close to 100. My bare minimum that I try to hit is at least $100. And I did get here a little bit later. I got started at like 7:15, 7:20, and it's like 9 o'clock right now. So, that didn't really juice the time, okay? Try to be here a little bit earlier next time, maybe like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Hopefully we can hit past 200. We'll see. We'll see where the night takes us, okay? But this is still a side thing for me, you know what I'm saying? All right. I'm going home now. Oh.
¿Cómo te fue, po?
Bien.
Hola, mi corazón de mi vida. ¿Cómo le fue?
Bien, Lalita. Bien, bien, bien.
Mama boy. You do good?
Yep.
Hola.
Neguito,
¿Cómo te fue?
Pensé que iban a venir.
un dinosaurio.
What movie are you watching?
Look up.
Se lo está comiendo a la presidenta.
Wait, it's called Look Up?